And hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of our series named Grooming with a Positive Mental Attitude. Today, we're going to explore it more about what actually power of our mind is. Even though that's very broad perception, and every one of us has his own thoughts and beliefs, what the mind is, how it operates. And today I want to dig a little deeper beyond our last session, where we were actually reconsidering like why we are here, why do we groom dogs, is this actually a place we want to be, how we want to make this world inside ourselves the perfect place for us to be. So once we are happy with the world inside us, we're gonna match that world beyond our imagination, and actually we're gonna start living that life outside ourselves. We can't live anything that we are not. What does it mean? So everything we live, we are. We live our life in its fullness, and we live our life in the perfect match of what we are inside. The world inside ourselves matches what we see outside. Power of our mind is so big that actually everything we see outside ourselves is created in our mind first. And that is where actually this perfect topic of today's journey names, will you dare to explore the power of your mind? What actually will finally bring the responsibility to the only place of its existence in ourselves. No matter who is a president, no matter which kind of war we are surrounded with, no matter what kind of pandemic we're in the middle of, no matter how the world is collapsing around us, the way we're gonna respond to all of those challenges is actually who we really are. We can't change the things until we do not changing at the place where the change really can happen, deep in our heart. That's the only place where the change happen, and that is the only place where actually we start projecting our inner peace outside ourselves. Can you imagine how this world would look like if everyone would do that first? Without me, there is nothing I can do. So without I-ness, there is no I. And there is no you without your I-ness. And without our I-nesses, there is no world. So how can I take care about you if I'm not taking care about myself first? And how you think you can take care about the world if there is no you first? And all of us, as the journey actually started, and I started the journey after a very big event happened and occurred in my life. Actually, like a month and a half ago, actually around when we started this journey, my mom transcended this world to another place of foreverness. And that big change in my life happened when I actually understood that there is no foreverness of this part of our life where we can actually impact the world around us, and then bloom and blossom the rewards of that kind of life in foreverness. No matter what we believe in, it's going to happen after we are not anymore here. So what we can do actually in order to do that path of salvation become our destination in foreverness. So we stayed proud of what we did here, and the lives we touched while we were here, we'll keep doing and keep exploring and keep expanding on top of our destiny in foreverness. We are not here just to pay the bills, watch the movie, eat another dinner, fight with the friends, and fight with someone else in a family. No, that's everything we do. It's actually, if the God would come us today, that's what the blessing of this life is. We don't know when that foreverness is going to start. And there were yesterday in the liturgy, divine liturgy in a church, our local priest was talking about one told a beautiful story about a Serbian Orthodox saint that is that is sleeping here in Louisville next to Chicago, and the story was actually interesting in a way that that priest, he was a priest while he was alive, and around 1930 he got very sick. He got so sick that actually doctors in the hospital told him like he won't survive till the morning. So and then he prayed to the God. He prayed to the God from the bottom of his heart, actually, as he did entire his life. He was very modest. He was actually he was like a very high priest in Serbian Orthodox Church, taking care about America and Canada. So he was a first Orthodox appointed priest, Serbian Orthodox priest in this part of the world. And then there were no churches and no monasteries, so he started to do it everything himself. So he didn't have enough money to buy a big piece of the land. So he bought in Chicago. So he bought a big chunk of the land next to the Chicago in a little town named Louisville. And then he started to build I'm sorry, it's a Libertyville. What did I say? No, it's a Libertyville. I'm sorry. So it's Libertyville. And he started to build a little monastery there by himself. He still lived in Chicago, and oftentimes he didn't have money enough to pay transportation, so he used the bicycle to go like around 20 miles back and forth every day while that construction was happening. And in 1930s, the monastery was not finished yet, and he got very, very, very ill. So he ended up in hospital. The doctor said like he won't make it till the morning. Then he started, he got a visit from two other priests that were helping him, and they came there to, say goodbye to their colleague and priest as well, the friend. And then they told him like, please, allow me to do a communion. Go in the church, do a liturgy, and bring me the communion. So I want to I want to confess and I want to get a communion. If these are my last hours I'm living, I wanna do it real Christian way. So they did it. He got his communion, and in the morning he woke up like he started to get much better, and the doctors were completely shocked and blown away. And then later on he shared like my entire night I prayed for one thing: God, please, I don't need more years of life. I need just enough time and strength to fulfill everything I started. So I want to leave this Orthodox community in Chicago and in America with a finished Saint Sava monastery. And he got a deal with God, and he got 5 years more. And yesterday was the day of his death. In 1935, he transitioned. He died, and he went into foreverness. Later on, like I think 2005, he was canonized as a saint of the Serbian Orthodox Church. And that's very, very, very touching story for every one of us. We don't need more life. We need more time and strength to fulfill our destiny. So we are coming back to, again, big question: why we are here, where we are coming from, and where we are going with what we are doing. So in this challenging world, sometime the illness that we're going to be actually blessed with, we get a chance to look through the life, to find and to understand that, yeah, there is something I'm doing in a way that I should maybe consider or reconsider doing what I'm doing, why I'm suffering these consequences of my actions, and what is to be done here if I'm not able to accept the life as a blessing on its own. I don't want this to turn into some, religious uh, preach that I'm sharing here with you. But it's very important to move on a last example, or on the last like a homework I gave it to you, in about to try to write a letter, write a list of 100 people that touched your life, regardless how that happened. Because everyone that we interacted with touched our life and shaped who we are today. And in this moment of my life, I'm doing something because those people shaped me the way I am. And somewhere there in that path, I was maybe sidetracked, I was maybe pushed away, or I was recalled back to my path, ensuring my freedom happens and my happiness happens. Because don't forget, this entire journey came with the end, we were inspired by almost last words of my mother. I heard from her telling me, like, I'm not sure, did I live in its fullness? I'm afraid to go. Like 2 days ago, I find one amazing, touching story that one old lady, she passed away like in 95, and the last interview she said, she was a cook, like a local chef in the one famous restaurant. She was a famous chef actually in restaurant in Serbia, and she said, like, a lot of my beautiful dinners were spiced up with my tears, because I dedicated my life to this job by forgetting myself. She stayed alone. She stayed like every single one that she interacted with, she made happy. And the people were clapping her on the shoulder, telling her how great she is. But she said that now, when she faces the last days, maybe month of her life, she find it not fulfilled. And that's something that we really want to think about while we can think about. Again, why I'm talking this to the groomers, and why I would be happy if you, as a professional dog groomer or professional, no matter which kind of pet related business person, are watching this and maybe thinking in your mind, like, he's crazy. Because of the way we pursue the life. On this perfect frequency of actually what we are looking to get from the dogs, we are missing from the people. We, more than everyone else living out there. Because we were thinking in our life that if we're gonna go and dedicate our life to the service of the dogs, that will explode happiness of the life. But the dogs are actually the tool in the God's hands to connect us with the people. Because I keep asking myself all the time, if every one of us would be able to teach people how to become such a friends as our dogs are friends to us. If I can be such a good friend as my dog is to me, which kind of world we would live in? As you sow, so shall you reap. If I'm giving out without thinking how much you're going to take from me, you can't take away from me nothing I don't have. So you can take from me as much as I have. And as more as I have, more you can take from me. And if I'm hooked, how should I know? Am I giving from the right place? Am I giving from the right heart, from the place of my heart? It's because I will never regret. No matter am I giving it to you, I give you one hand, and you take two hands, or you take entire body, and you keep taking and taking more and more and more. It's not mine to think about the price you should pay for that. And that is where we're gonna slowly enter. This is a Christmas time, like very nice mood. That very last Christmas was very maybe like we had all of that pressure of lockdowns, and don't go for Christmas, and don't interact with no one, and don't go there because you're gonna kill them and they're gonna die. Everything is true, and everyone is trying his best, but people are social animals. We are actually very much our destiny and our survival depend on interaction with the other people. And I agree that we can add on, we can do everything in our life only if we are alive. But if you see this little story from the beginning of this session, where I said, like, he prayed to the God after he experienced a humongous illness. He said, like, I don't ask you for more years of life. I'm asking you for more time and strength to fulfill my destiny. What would I do if I know that my day of death is tomorrow? And then I get the chance to talk to the God. And he tells how much you want. How much more you want to live? 10 years, 20 years, 50, 100, how much you want more. But in order to get how much you want, you need to tell me what you're going to do with that. And obviously, what we're going to do with that, if we get an extra year or 10, we're going to do the same we did before we got a chance to be asked that question. And you know why? Because of the power of our mind. The only thing that we have different than the pigs and the horses and dogs and chickens and all kind of animals out there is the power of the mind to choose and the free will. And that's exactly where everything happens, in the free will to choose whichever direction we want to go. Oh, I was forced. You was not forced. I was forced. I was forced because I was molested and abused. So I was forced. And you know what? I created a little bubble in how I survived. Later on, I remembered. And you know when I remembered? I remembered when I was in the, I'll tell you this story because it's very relevant. And I think I shared it somewhere on our webpage or somewhere. I know I shared it. And then later on, I turned to them, maybe it's too pathetic. But that is how it happened. Like, I was doing I had some operation like a jaw fixing and implants and things like that. So I experienced like a hardship in experiencing that. Like, oh my God, it was so painful that I couldn't even sleep and eat, and it took like 2 months to get all things done. So I was going to the dentist and to those surgeries every day, and they did something and something healed. So they did it today something. It was a mess, and it was very painful, the experience I was going through. And at that time, I was spending a lot of time in Miami, and actually that was happening in Miami. And I had a great friends that were actually taking care about me and nourishing me and being there for me, trying to do best for me. But at one point it was just so painful that I wanted to be alone, and I just didn't want to have anyone around us because I was just becoming like kind of very heavy to deal with, because I was almost about to explode in how much pain I was. So I sit one day in a car after all of that's done. So this anesthesia is getting off away, and I start feeling the pain, and that I've become like very very sensitive, and I cried a lot, and I remembered a lot of things that I didn't know that I'm remembering actually, but I was channeling a lot of memory from somewhere. And then I said, like, I want to spend the time on a beach. So I want to go to the beach. I want to go there. I want to spend some time there. I went there. I started reading the book. I can't read the book. I put my earplugs and I put some music, and I fell asleep on a beach. And I sleep and I sleep and I sleep, and I woke up because I started to freeze. Like, it was already chilly, so that's what wake me up. I was chilly, and then I woke up. It was already dark, but the three things blissed in my mind, like a flashback in my mind. That was a jaw pain, the sound on the ocean, and the stars on the sky. I said, how? What I'm flashing back? So in that moment, I remembered, how did I survived this little, not little, constant and long abuse that I was going through in my childhood. Oftentimes, I would be punished and then locked in that kind of locked in a little bathroom. And depending on how bad I was or whatever I did, I don't know, I would either got a little how kaže šamar, slaps, and then if I'll be not so bad, looks like I was like really need a little boy. So if I don't if I wasn't so bad, I will end up having a light on in that little bathroom, or I'm really bad, or I deserve whatever I did. I don't remember. I was just punished with to stay in dark. And then I remember, I said, I'm not in a bathroom in a little claustrophobic little place. I'm gonna make it be an ocean. So I turned on the water, and the water was running, and I was sleeping there, pretending to be on a beach. And then the light would, from the rest of the place, the light would go through, so the light would penetrate that darkness. And I was looking at that like I was, seeing the moon, and then moon shines, and seeing the, pretending that there is some sky, and I'm counting the stars. But of course, sometimes the slap was so high, so strong, that I felt that numbness in my cheeks. Here I am, like 40 years later, experiencing the same picture, just in freedom. It is an ocean. It is a sky. There are the stars. And I feel numbed again, but not from being slapped, but from wanting to have a nicer smile. So there is a chance to turn any single victimhood into the success, to win over victimness, to win over any single things that we experienced, because the mind can help us survive. The same story, without knowing it, I was experiencing that with like a child. So without the same story, without any me knowing that, turned out to be a survival possibility of the people. You have a wonderful movie, Italian, I don't know, it's called the Life is Beautiful, La Vita è Bella. It's with the father and the son and the entire family ending up in a concentration camp. It's the ones that had a mind working for them were creating this little bubble that were putting them on a path of salvation and survival because to become inspiration for the time to come. So that little story of how we can survive, no matter which circumstances we are in, to hide inside our mind. One of the Holocaust survivors said, like, they would they would they were able to take away my body, to starve it to the death. They were able to force me to do anything they wanted, but they couldn't force me one thing: to think what they wanted. The only way to survive was to find the way to think the stories that will help me survive. And I was running away to this fairy tale that later on become fairy tale and dream I was chasing for. So when and that's later on kind of turns to be like very important and interesting way of approach of the life, where I was like pretty greedy for a lot, praying, I want a new car, I want that car, I want this car, I want this, I want to have this dress and that and this brand and that brand, and if it's not expensive, it's not good, and things like that. So I was fulfilling my ego wishes, trying to reach out the happiness, because I was thinking I didn't have when I was a boy. Maybe it's now time, so I'll spend all of my money on fulfilling all of these desires that I fulfill to myself, trying to reach happiness. And then you end up having an amazingly big apartment, like 3-4 bedrooms, that occasionally you're gonna just have a people hang over with. You'll have a big car, but then you wouldn't have a time to travel anywhere because you're busy doing anything inside there. Then you will want to, just another car, just another model. I have a Porsche, but maybe red, maybe blue, maybe yellow, maybe Tesla, maybe better, maybe let's go to the moon, let's go here, let's go to Mars. Try everything that we are doing, like mankind, everything that we are doing, we are living in this bubble of consumption. And we think if we're going to consume more, we're going to experience finally happiness. But it's not happening that way. You don't need anyone to tell you that. Probably that was already an experience of every one of us. That 2 times in regards to anything that exists in material world and around us, 2 are the points of big disappointment. The first one is why we don't have something. And that's kind of okay. That's kind of legit one. I'm disappointed because I don't have that. But an even bigger disappointment occurs when I get in a possession of that, and I see it's actually blah. It's not that I was thinking about, but then I think about, it's a new model that already is there, so I'm just late. Oh yeah, I knew I should take a red one. Or yeah, I was thinking, I should take a black one or the gold one. Yeah, I messed up again. No, that's not how it works. And it's not only with that. It's like that is with every single home we buy. Like that is with every single car we buy. Except if doesn't fit the bigger cause, picture, and purpose. So God, give me strength to possess everything I need in order to make my destiny fulfilled. I don't know what that is. I don't know what I need. Guide me. But if that power of the mind is so strong, and the New Age, everywhere you turn, the New Age philosophy and New Age teachings are teaching us, if you make your mind up to something, you will have it 100% in one or the other form. We don't know the form we're going to actually achieve something. But if we really, really strike our mind to the point, we can even make it, materialize in a form that we actually imagined. That requires a lot of faith and self-discipline, but it can be done because everything we see around us was an idea in someone's mind at some point. So as this mic was invented, as this laptop was invented, the fridge was invented, this building was built up. As you're grooming your dogs and you're making them, everything before you groom, you already know the way you're gonna actually direct. So the first you groom your dog inside your mind, and then you take your tool and skills and put it outside your mind. So there where you kind of understand that whatever was in your mind manifested one way or the other. We already know how I'm doing on that. First, I need to have an imagination. So I imagine how do you want me to groom your dog, or how do you want to groom another person's dog? So everything starts in imagination first, and then you use the tools and skills in order to make it happen. So if it doesn't happening, something is wrong. We need to raise consciousness about why I'm not doing this, why I can't make this picture appear from the screen of my mind outside of myself. Maybe I don't have entire picture of what does it take. So I'm focusing myself only on how to hold the scissors. So I miss understanding on how to work through the dog's behavior, how to behave next to the dog so the dogs will be calm on my table. So when I groom them, they will stay for me, so I can groom them by joy, by both joy. They're enjoying and I'm enjoying. So maybe my consciousness is not raised enough to understand and to know that actually by knowing how to execute the grooming properly, it's not enough to make it work. Or I'm going to just kind of listen to what I'm taught without putting in what the clients want. And then the clients end up being unsatisfied because I didn't even listen to them. But in order to get to that point, I need to raise a consciousness and skills on some other kind rather than how to groom dogs. I need to listen. I need to become nice to those people. I need to listen to them so I will be able to incorporate everything. I need to become empathetic. Why we fail in doing all of that? We have a simple explanation to that. It's so-called self-discipline. We are not disciplined enough. No one can force you to think what you don't want. No CNN, no Fox, no Instagram, no Facebook, no TikTok, nothing can force you to believe what you want to believe until you do not surrender yourself. If we don't self-discipline ourselves, someone gonna discipline us, because that is how our mind operates. It must be programmed. Our mind is like a TV. That is how they created a TV. The TV is created, it's just nothing. It's just a box with something inside. What's inside? What is inside the TV as a apparat? How you say? No, šta je televizor? Device. It's just a device. And the device is made, someone made it, that were really understanding how the man's mind operates, because that's the device of how man works. So what you need in order to run the TV, you need to have a power. Okay. Our TV, our mind is hooked up on the power of our body that is produced by interaction of cells, especially the neurons in our brain. So we are hooked up 24/7 to electricity that makes our mind works 24/7. So our TV goes on 24/7. So that's how our mind operates. There are different level of the consciousness and different level of how we are aware of that, but that happens even if we sleep, even if we are awakened, even if we are dreaming, if we are meditating, not meditating, quiet, not quiet, talking, not talking. Our mind goes through the different stages. So what happens next? Next need to be we need to have okay, now we are turning on the TV. The mind is on. What we're gonna look, close your mind, close your eyes now. Okay, and I'm telling you, listen this. Imagine elephant. Imagine pig. Imagine happy couple playing with their dog in the park. Imagine fisherman fishing on his little boat outside on a nice weathered ocean under the nice weather. So now you was probably imagining different size of the elephant, maybe different color, maybe different this, different that, but most likely I was directing what you're gonna project on the screen of your mind. So our mind is a screen. It's like two-dimensional. It's the same thing like when you close your mind, when you close your eyes, the pictures that we project on a screen, our mind would not be different than the ones we experience looking the TV. What we need to have more there? And I said, like, put up some other channel. I don't want to see this channel. And then on a channel, we have a channel, and a channel is a frequency that is kind of, taken by some production, like streaming companies like channel. And then, for example, the channel that you're going to find Fox, you can't see nothing else other than something that is a Fox program. There is another word. And then when you switch the channel, then you are switching to a CNN, or switch again channel, then you are going to a Netflix. Switch a channel, you are going to somewhere else. Amazon Prime, whatever we go to. So channels. And the channel is a frequency that particular station is using to deliver what? The program. So now we have on that channel, we match the frequency of our TV station receptor with a broadcasting station that actually is somewhere there, where is a studio, and then the studio promotes, and there is actually live things happen in the studio. And then using the way of communication, that program that's going on there gonna be transferred through the frequency, matching our receiver frequency at the TV, and then finally we are able to witness it with our eyes. Yeah, television, that we are finally witnessing, if we turn it on. So that's actually how our life is organized, exactly like that. If we don't discipline ourselves enough to keep our TV off the program I want to expose myself to, I won't be able to know that I'm thinking by myself, because the people are lazy. We are lazy. We want everyone else to tell us what's going on in the world, what's true, what's not true. And then if the perception of the people and diversity of the people at this point, especially in this time of the world where we live now, depend on what program the people expose themselves. So that program will develop the belief system that the people are gonna trust it's true. But then you need to read the book named Power of Propaganda. That's exactly the book how the what's the name of the Hitler was using in order to build up the narrative around the brainwashing the Germans and building up his way to the hell of the world. That's how powerful the programs are, because yes, if we won't program ourselves, someone else gonna do for us. And regardless what we are exposing ourselves to, it's not true. It's someone else's perception of how the world is. And then now I can do this extreme in political way. If you don't watch Fox News, if you are if you are kind of like if you are watching CNN, so it's a kind of completely two different types of the news that are. So which world is true? Which world is true? Like both of them are telling us it's true. Which one of that's lying? The ones that are listening to CNN, they're saying the Fox are lying. The other ones are telling the CNN is lying. But they're somehow exposing the same events. That's how important it is to understand that power of the mind is something that no one else is really there to accept and embrace. Because that will dedicate little more time than just opening a newspaper and understand what's going on in the world. Who cares what's going on in the world? The only world I should take care about, like what's going on, is what's going on inside my world. Not even outside myself. What's going on inside myself? That's the world I should care about. Because remember the story I said on the beginning. The guy was dying. The doctors and everyone else told him, there is an hours you will gonna live. The best friends of him came to say goodbye. An hours. And he said, no, I need more time to finish my monastery. I don't need more time to live. I need more time to fulfill my destiny. And blessed are one that are on a path of the salvation, because they don't mind when they're gonna die and what they're gonna die of. The being scared of death is actually showing us that we are not in tune with our destiny. And then we are afraid that if we're gonna die, what if this forever life is really true? No one knows, but what if it's true? And that is why we are afraid, because we don't know. And then again, you should if we expose ourselves again to the programming of the Orthodox Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism or Hinduism, no matter which ism we expose ourselves, we're going to believe, oh, there is a forever life after that, and then there is a hell, and there is a Eden, paradise. No, it's not like that. You're going to die, and then depends of how you live this life, then you can become a pig in next life, or you can die. This is your 170 lives. You have more to go. Don't worry about. You can live the way you want, and you're gonna, if you don't mind, you can. If you don't live, you can just get the next incarnation. So it just kind of depend of which program we let in our mind. That's what we're gonna run our actions from, based on. So the world become very busy, very fast. Everyone, I got like today, I got one email from a students like, what is the shortest course that you have that I can learn about how to groom dogs? And I say, like, shortest course we have is actually 6 months. It's because the one that that you can go through our curriculum if you dedicate like in between 6 and 8 hours a day. So you condense the real program of 13 months into 6 months. Because the 13 months, if you take half time, like 2-3 hours, 4 hours Then you can do 2 hours if you add weekends, like 2-3 hours a day. But if you want to really condense it, you can, but you need to get the dedicated like full-time job to this. And they say, oh no, it's too long. And you know what's going to happen in 6 months? If I would ask her, oh, do you remember 6 months ago you said it's too long to start the course? How did you spend your 4 hours a day moving on once you decided, oh, it's too much, it's too long, I can't do that because I don't have time? You know, two things we will never have in time, in a life: money and time. Every single time you hear those things as an excuse, in a time to come, we're going to spend the money we didn't have, and we're going to spend the time we didn't have without achieving the possibility that we dreamed about. It's not a big deal if we dreamed about and it's just one unfulfilled wish. But what if down that path I would be able to meet finally with my destiny? Don't forget that the freedom of one, and that's just doesn't, it's not only logical. It's not only logical. If when you said like it resonates deep in the heart, the freedom of one lays between the boundaries of his destiny. So if I know where my destiny is, what I'm born to do, then what can prevent me from getting there? Even if I kind of get sick or get prevented because unknown reason starts to tries hard to prevent me from reaching there, there is always ways to play out. You have we not only to this story that no one experienced, but I know in my life pretty much a lot of people, myself included, that work and suffered through a big challenges in life and surviving. I had a kind of a big project in Serbia called the Grooming Gang. I was having these boys that were like pretty. The life was pretty tough to them, and I said like there must be a reason why you was put through that experience. One was that there was a very nice story. He said like I was kind of mad at my father, and then I ran after him. I had a hammer and I wanted to kill him. So then he ran away from me. So I was so angry at myself that I take a gasoline and I pour a gasoline on myself, and then I light myself up and wanted to kill myself because I didn't happen to kill my father. And then somehow he survived because that father that he was, chasing to kill came back and then helped him actually survive. The guy has scars all over the place. And then when I was talking to him, I said like, the God must have something for you. Later on, of course, he became a father. So he's a father to a beautiful daughter. That's on its own a miracle on life. Because you never know what will be the destiny of the girl, or his girl will maybe be a mother of someone, and then someone, and then someone, and then someone. So there is always something that we need to do in our life in order to finally in tune with so much missing happiness. That's something that we tried to buy for so long and we couldn't. That's something that we also tried to chase and we couldn't. So how should I move away from this? How should I self-discipline myself in the world when everyone else is looking the TV? Can you? That's your topic. That's your homework for in a week to come. So, because what happens? Why we are exposing ourselves to the TVs and to the news and everything? Because we are bored. Why we are bored? We are bored because we don't know how to put our time in use. It's not about to listen what happened in the world and then how many people died and then what's going on and how many new variants are coming or what to do now. I think someone else need to tell me what to do now. So what you need to do is actually turning up, try to turn it off. Turn yourself off from the news for a week. And then try to see how you're gonna use that time that you was offering to someone to program your beliefs, and your actions are going to be based on that. Someone is telling you something, and then you go out and you act accordingly to that. Try to see how you're going to act if you prevent your mind from impact of anyone in a week to come. 1 week. Take 1 week absence from everything that might distract you from reaching the point where you're going to actually face the clear picture of why you're here. If you didn't watch my previous shows, like you can see the last one, but maybe you can go back. On every single time when I post about this, you have past episodes. Try to watch them. It's hour long. Each of them is around 1:15, and it's on YouTube. It's on my Sasha Riess World page of this page, Facebook page, and it's on YouTube. You watch that and you see, nothing that programs your perception is allowed. No movies, no news, no TV, no newspaper, no nothing. Try to do as well the social media absence for a week. Only thing that might be allowed if you need to would be your business. Try to care about your business, but also actually if you pull back from that too, see how the world would exist if you're gonna vanish for a week. Try to dedicate the week that comes to yourself and to your mind, and to see what would you do if all of these distractions would happen to be a reality of our life. What would happen if suddenly the power would be out, so we don't have an access to all of these things? And then see how much the modern life and the modern way of life took us away, because we think that all of this shyness that's happening around us, it's true. No, it's only perception. It's a perception of my mind that is shaped by everything around me. Why? Because I'm lazy. No, I'm not lazy. I'm working 10 hours a day. I'm going there. It doesn't count what you do. It's count what you think. What you think, that's the only thing that counts. Not what I'm doing. Counts what I'm thinking. And now I want to force this challenge, this week challenge would be, would you dare to explore the power of your mind? But the only way to explore the power of your mind, you need to cut off the distraction. It's not only a distraction, unfortunately, it's a way of programming. The mind must be programmed. The TV can't work without a program, and a program is produced by someone. No matter which program you're going to watch, someone needs to produce that program. So if I don't want to keep my program be produced by myself, then I need to expose my mind to some other programs, because I'm too lazy to program my own program. No matter who you allow to program your mind, you're going to be programmed. And the only work, the only power that should exist in our life is how the heck I need to program myself. I need to first understand who am I. Again, start to watch the shows from the beginning. The number one shows was like importance of the positive mental attitude, importance towards everything. How do I act positive, and why I'm still caught on my own, even though for almost like 25 years I'm consciously working on this, and I can still make it happen in the pureness, because what I'm missing is a strength, is a courage to act accordingly to my thoughts. because I'm afraid that I'm gonna hurt her feelings, or I'm gonna hurt his feelings, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. Of course, that's very important. But then why that can happen? Because I'm talking emotionally, because I'm putting too much passion in everything I talk. And then I come across like a rude. So I need to work on my personality. And when you have something to say and you feel like you're emotionally engaged in the moment, don't say it. Don't say it, because it's going to come across probably like a differently. Then you need to understand that other people do too. But if they're not aware of how the mind and power of the mind operates, then you have more responsibility not to react back to that, but to respond to the opportunity. And then hold back. Sometime you just call sick into the office because you think it's better for everyone. Because yeah, I'm sick, emotionally sick, because if I come, I know it might end up bad. So stay home. And oftentimes I regret why I'm not doing that. Because yeah, you need to act responsibly, and you need to do your part, and you need to do, yes, but sometimes I'm just human. I'm not an saint. So then you're gonna see how life actually becomes much easier when you start programming and creating your own bubble, no matter which kind of fairy tale that is. Anyhow, it's a fairy tale, because if two let's get back to this politics, because that's the easiest way to understand. The families are not talking today because one is watching Fox, the other one is watching CNN, and they are fighting like they can say, like they can solve something, because on the same event two programs are telling the two different stories. And then one will start to explain the other one how actually the Fox doesn't have a clue what's going on in a world, where actually the other one will say, oh no, CNN is the one that knows the truth. Because the other one are, the ones, these are the conservatives and these are the Democrats, and then this is like that and this is like that. The people are falling, like families are falling apart based on something that's irrelevant for the life, because it's coming from someone else thinking for us, because we are lazy to do so. So there you're going to see how much time you will have and how much powerful possibilities you will have to make your life much engageable. Is that a word? Engageable in your own favor. Because don't forget the last week topic we had, we were talking about what was the topic, was clear the cobwebs from your thinking. All of those things that doesn't serve me. What is to serve me? Your purpose. They would always say, like I said, like last time I said, I was connecting to this study that says like a 99, like 100. That's what they said, like 99, but they say 99 because 100 would be like too much, you're too much pointy, and if you can't prove it, then you kind of need to write a little letters of disclaimer. This is why it's, but they said like the real scientists that are working around that, it doesn't care about what the world is thinking about them. They said like every single disease, starting from the simplest flu and cold, ending up with the cancer, is a psychosomatic. It's created inside me by myself to remind me that there is a path I might losing a track from, that there might be something that I'm missing in this life. It's not about how you're going to pay your rent. It's not about how much money you're going to have on your bank account. if that's not in a service of the biggest purpose, and if the biggest purpose is not coming from the point where I'm running away from something, that's why we need to reconnect with our purpose, reconnect with our roots, reconnect with our family, reconnect with our parents, reconnect with the memory of why I'm here where I am. Am I running away from somewhere? And if yes, from where? And where I'm thinking I'm going by running away? Where I think I'm gonna get? How far I need to run? When I'm gonna stop running? Every single disease and illness comes as a blessing, if accepted that way. Because the metaphoric way of looking at the disease will always bring the answer. Why do we have like there is a great uh, uh, he was a psychologist in Serbia, like very old and wise man, very big wisdom, life wisdom. He said, like, why do we see so much cancer lately? You can link cancer to a lot of things if you're going to go into the material world. Oh, this caused cancer and that caused cancer, and then this caused cancer and that caused cancer. But if you want to get really to the root cause, says a cancer always calls for the inner need to be reborn. So we are trying somehow to reborn ourselves to do it again, because we lost the battle with life. Why? Because we were busy running away. We were busy we were busy letting ourselves be programmed. So we actually got reprogrammed to fit whatever we needed to fit. Why? Because we were lazy to do the homework. Who's gonna learn? Who's gonna read? Who's gonna develop the consciousness? I don't have time. Well, the TV gonna take that instead of you. Then you're gonna be programmed to fit something. Nothing that we need to be fit. Nothing we need to fit in. No program need to be programmed to us if we're gonna self-discipline ourselves enough to program ourselves. What to program myself to do? To fulfill your destiny. That's life without regret. That's life that brings only needs that are supporting the path of salvation, or call it however you want it. Dare to explore the power of your mind. And I'm challenging you to try seeing how hard it is only for a week. No movies, no TV, no news, and no internet. Only if you need, that would be the best if you can get rid of all kind of interaction with everything that can sidetrack you from one thing that the man have a divine power to: thinking. Everything that sidetrack you from interaction with the real people, trying to understand how they mirror your inner world. Write down everything that's going to happen you over the week. Write down everything. So that's the writing part of that. You need to write down the name and write down the way you interacted with everything. Have a diary. Just write, when you interact with them, just write the name of the person. Who did you talk to by phone? Who did you interacted with in person? What the clients are? Which friends you went on coffee or whatever happened there? And then see, then the next thing, when you have a little more time, that would be just, just not to forget, because it's easy to forget with whom we interacted that day. Then just, for example, I don't know, uh, Kim called me, and then we had a meeting, and then whatever. So we interacted, and then when you get home, then you write down a little more about your feelings, interaction, what was the topic, what you talked about, and try to do that with every single person that you interacted lately for the 7 days. So you write this little homework instead of watching news, TV. Try to see how addicted we are to be programmed. And then slowly it will be hard. First, second, third day, it's specific. So commit to that. Commit and see how difficult it would be to discipline yourself to commit to this task. Oh no, it's simply I'll just turn the TV, and then you'll turn the TV, and then you come from the work, and then you're going to end up seeing that you might need to talk to your spouse instead of read the newspaper while you are eating. What's wrong in the picture? But that's what we are programmed to do. And by that, we are actually failing to see all the possibilities of our life, all the possibilities that the destiny is actually every single hour, every single day pouring towards us. And then you're gonna maybe be able to be honest to yourself on Sunday or whatever next Monday, that you're gonna tell yourself like, I made it happen, or I failed. Both of those questions, both of those results of this practice are good, because it will open your perception, and then it will bring this little perception from Sasha told me into your own consciousness. You're going to experience it, and then you're going to be able to see how much life we actually are not living, how much possibilities we are actually losing, how much we are not aware who the heck we are. And I just want, with all of this I'm doing, to inspire this beautiful industry and the souls that are connected here, thinking that we are here actually to make a dog's coat look better than it was before grooming. And then next time complain again why the dog is tangled. There is the bigger purpose of that. I was blessed to answer that question, or actually, I'm still actually, I know I answered that question in my heart, and I can feel that. I still can't give the thoughts, real thoughts and real words to those feelings, but I'm feeling them like bumping, kind of just, I'm feeling that, pulsing it out from my heart. And I would love all of these journeys to inspire, at least if I inspire only one, it will be worth of doing it. Because I can't imagine that we had a chance to take our life back in our possessions, and we were lazy to do so. Because we didn't give enough conscious awareness to the power of our mind. Our mind operates like a TV. It's need to operate on a channel, and it's need to have a program. And if we fail to produce our own program, we must hook up to something else. If we won't discipline ourselves, someone else gonna do it for us. The man mind needs to be disciplined. That's the only way it can operate. If we don't program it, someone else is gonna program it. And then we depend of the then we depend on the agenda of who is doing it and why. We can't complain. We can't complain if we didn't like the results of those programs, because we agreed to them. We agreed to them. So, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for the wonderful inspiration and the beautiful messages I'm keep getting, because I see like sometime maybe the timing is not right. I don't know how many people and views we had live this time. It's not an easy way to listen to these things. Sometime you might end up feeling a pressure in the stomach and things like that. I do too by preparing myself for these things. But there is no other way than to share, to prepare. So I'm preparing myself for thinking what I'm gonna talk about. Today I was a little sidetracked with preparing this video. Is it the color good, or is it light, or is that or that? So I was just maybe needed more time to catch up with my real topics that I wanted to share with you. But I'm assuring you, don't forget the homework. Off with the TV. No news, no newspaper, no social media. Connect with your own mind, connect with your own self. Learn in this week who you really are by cutting everything that might interrupt that meeting of yourself with your highness, to make it your highness. So, and then write the names of the people you interact with over the year, over the week. Nothing. You said something? Someone said radio music? Ask some people? Nothing. Because everything is distraction. Even if you're gonna spend this, it's called, sometime if you're really gonna go to retreats, the retreats are called retreats in silence. As we go deeper for example, I know that in time to come, like for example, in 5 weeks from now or something like that, you're gonna be called to try to interact with the people. Like, try not to talk for a week. Take off from the job. But we need to prepare for that, because it's difficult. You need to kind of see how unprepared we are actually talking. So this one would be a little preparation for that, but that we need more time and more practice and more strength and more self-discipline in order to achieve that level of selfness, of if I can control my talking for a week or for even a day, then you're gonna be able to control your emotions. And if you're gonna be able to control your emotions, you're gonna be able to control your reactions. And finally, we're gonna start responding to the life around us rather than reacting and then regretting the reactions. But one step at a time. So someone asked, like, what about the music? No music. Because the music also has words. Sad songs, nice songs, happy songs, these songs, that songs. And that's actually turning you off yourself, because you might gonna end up, this word is triggering that emotion, and then I'm ending up there, and then I'm listening this, and I'm going there. Good question. No music. No nothing. Get in silence with yourself and interaction with the real people. Music with no words, music you don't understand. No music without words either, because you don't want nothing to take you anywhere rather than being present here and now. And in order to do that, you see how difficult actually this would be. Oh, I can't listen to music. Yeah, you can't. You need to see how important for you is to listen to music, because you don't know what to do with the world around you. So you need to kind of shape it. And then we think that we're going to shape it if there's going to be a music around us. It's always great to, later on, but okay, let's start. Let's see what would be a result of this. Try to create a little monastery in your life around yourself and focus on the people that you interact with and focus on yourself that you interact with and write this diary and commit this week to yourself and discovering that there is maybe a little hidden message that because we are so much sidetracked, we can't even hear that sparkle that sparkle is there since we were born and it's gonna be there until we do not die. It's just kind of like when we're gonna catch up with the sparkle. Maybe that's the place we are at the moment, but why we are not getting the 100% of our life at the moment, why you are still listening this, is because you are missing something. And I'm doing this because I'm missing something. So, and I'm gonna commit to this too. I would love you to see Vedran's face now when I said this as well. But then I'm gonna ask you to commit to this too. So we are doing it together. So we're gonna no TV, no music, no news, no social media. Rather than the business, if you just must do the business, don't kind of do the business. Try to interact with the people because that's interaction with the people. Write the diary about who do you interacted with and what were the results of those interactions. Focus this time on the world around you and in you, and then see the miracles happens. I can't wait for you to share your experience with me and with our friends and followers. Please help me get this show up and running by sharing, commenting, and getting more people to in tune, either watching it live or on recorded version. I love you from the bottom of my heart of supporting this journey. It's our togetherness in growing in order to fulfill and try to answer the calling why we are here before it gets too late. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful time. Have a wonderful week ahead. Love you. And then see you next Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever try.